please? We're going to try to be as quiet as possible and let you take in the ceremony today, but let me kind of tell you what's going on. The beginning part of this ceremony, the presentation of the colors, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by CMSD students. Again, let's listen in.
Detail. Halt. Now, face.
Thank you to the Cleveland Division of Police Honor Guard for the presentation of colors. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Ethan Corona, a high school sophomore and one of the leaders of Students for Bibb.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Friends, I am Victor Ruiz, Executive Director of Esperanza and Cleveland resident. Señoras y señores, mi nombre es Víctor Ruiz y yo soy el director ejecutivo de Esperanza. I am so pleased to serve as your master of ceremonies today. Today is a very special day because we are here to hear Mayor Justin Bibb's inaugural address and commemorate his oath of office. While he was officially sworn in after midnight on Monday during a private ceremony, it is customary and proper to honor the occasion in a slightly grander fashion. Today's program is truly a reflection of Cleveland, its people, its culture, and its spirit. Thank you to Mayor Bibb for allowing me this honor, and also to the family members, campaign staff, and also to all the members of the media who are here today. And I'd also like to welcome all of those of you who are joining us from the comforts and safety of your homes. Now, please join us in prayer, led by Pastor Jawanza Colvin of the Olivet Institutional Baptist Church, where Justin and his mother are members and where Justin made his victory speech on election night.
You may take your seats. Let us pray. God, on this 8th day in this 2022nd year in this first month, we gather as a community to mark this moment in history and this first chapter in the new telling of a new story of this city and those elected to lead. We realize that we are here at this intersection at the corner of past and promise, knowing that it is our yesterday that has made today's tomorrow full of so much potential, but also brings so much challenge and responsibility. From the first peoples who walked these lands to the European settlers who made it their own, to those from foreign shores and southern fields who transformed this land from this once indigenous enclave to an industrial metropolis, we stand on their shoulders. As we come to this moment in which new leaders take the oath of the age-old call to serve, we express gratitude for those who have themselves walked in this well-worn road. May their exemplars of moral clarity, unwavering civility, sound deliberation, and offer wisdom and counsel, and a true north during these times when shabby self-interest is often thinly veiled as public concern. May we seize this time and all that it brings, from the challenges that seem intractable to the forces that seem unyielding, to the issues that meet us every morning and wake us up in the middle of the night. Grant us grace to find our way as a city, navigating our way through the rough terrain of a ruggedly competitive, bottom-line driven, post-industrial, innovation-focused, information-aged world. Grant us the compassion and the commitment so that we move forward, leaving no one behind. Grant us the vision to see the roses that can grow in the midst of so much concrete in our schools, our community centers, playgrounds, in our homes, our children who need someone to believe in them until they can start believing in themselves. Grant us a sense of responsibility to give our elders the sunset years they deserve, lived in safety, security, and with dignity, offering the protections and the provisions to somebody else's mother, father, or grandparent as we would want for our own. And for our new mayor, we thank you for the sense of hope and promise his new administration brings with him as they now take the helm. We thank you for his gentlemanly quality, his civil disposition of person, his thoughtful, reflective, and deliberative expression of ideas, the seeming moral centeredness of his politics. May they translate seamlessly into his policies. May he serve all the people, all those who voted for him, all those who didn't, and all those who, because they're either jaded or disappointed or disgusted by the state of our current body politic, they didn't think it was worth voting at all. We know, God, that he is one person, and no one person can do it all, but you only need one finger to point somebody in the right direction. Lord, in his already keen intellect, unusual insight, may he continue to expand, evolve, adapt, engage, reach, extend, grow, endeavor, challenge, upheave, renew, redesign, reimagine, redeploy, respond, and when there is unrelenting, undue, unethical, ungodly pressure, resist. May he represent and serve the best which is in all of us. Seek to serve with conviction, compromising when appropriate, but holding fast when necessary to preserve his own integrity and the integrity of the people of this great city. We thank you for the values he absorbed at his mother's knee and his father's side, in the classroom and in the congregation, that he now chooses to live out such values in a life of public service. Surround him with counselors and advisors fully esteemed in both head and heart. And may he and they speak truth to power, even in those times when the truth is inconvenient and those in power are they themselves. Let us hold him and them civically and morally responsible, and may they carry this baton, this leg of the race, as best and as far as they can until they get tired or until the people get tired of them. And where our esteemed mayor and his administration may at times miss the mark, may his vision remain clear, his intentions remain right, and may your grace make the difference. In your blessed name we pray, amen.
We ask you to please stand again and direct your attention to the screen for our national anthem.
Please stand. Oh.
So proud.
That was Cleveland School student Kendall Skillern of the All City Arts Choir, and she was accompanied by Dr. David M. Thomas, vocal music director. And now, let's please give a Cleveland welcome to Tina Farmer, our local Cleveland idol and gifted gospel singer, as she performs Lift Every Voice and Sing. And we ask for you to remain standing if you're able and willing.
May
Ms. Farmer, that was absolutely beautiful. Thank you. You may sit, please. I'd like to now introduce our Congresswoman, Ms. Chantel Brown, which serves the 11th District. And the day after being elected on November 2nd, she was in Washington getting right to work. And we are very fortunate that she is here with us today.
Thank you, Victor. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. What a special day, not only for our new mayor, his incoming administration, his family, but the entire city of Cleveland. Hope, progress, shared sacrifice, and communal commitment. These are the words that come to mind as we celebrate the swearing in of my brother and my friend and native son of the southeast side of Cleveland, Mayor Justin Bibb. Cleveland has a rich tradition of public servants who use their voices, their influence, and their roles to deliver results for the people of our city. Mayor Carl Stokes and Congressman Louis Stokes rose from one of the first federally funded housing projects to the heights of power, championing progress on civil rights, fighting for the poor. Mayor Jane Campbell and Congresswoman Stephanie Tubbs Jones broke glass ceilings. The list goes on. George Voinovich, Frank Jackson, and of course, my predecessor and current Secretary of HUD, Marcia Fudge. What did all these leaders share in common, you ask? Well, I'm glad you did. They always put people of Cleveland first. They fought for the needs of the community they loved and called home. They served with integrity, decency, and honor. And they led with vision, galvanizing vision for what it would take to deliver for Cleveland and all of her people. I am honored to serve in this proud tradition along with Cleveland's newly minted 58th Mayor, Justin Bibb. The expectations are large, as is the responsibility, but I know Mayor Bibb. I know Mayor Bibb's heart is with the people of our city, and I know he will do whatever it takes to chart a course for a better tomorrow. His passion, his leadership, and his wisdom are exactly what Cleveland needs in this moment. I first met Mayor Bibb in 2018 during a 9-day trip to Israel. His spirit was calming, his demeanor kind and genuine. But underneath that, I could tell he led and held a deep-seated desire to make his mark and affect change. While many of us struggled on the trip to get up each day, Mayor Bibb would already be in the hotel lobby, studiously digging into current events of the day's paper. These truths are apparent to all who know Mayor Bibb, from his early public service to his civic leadership, from his role in founding nonprofit to his experience in the private sector. Mayor Bibb brings a list of accomplishments and a wealth of experience to his new role. He offers the hope, the opportunity, and the promise of a brighter future that our city needs now more than ever. Now, we all know great challenges lie ahead. The precautions for today's events are a testament to the fact that we are still battling a pandemic. Jobs were created at a record pace last year, but too many Clevelanders are still being left behind. Work remains to make our neighborhoods safer and healthier. Poverty, hunger, homelessness, maternal and infant mortality afflict our city at stubbornly high rates. Discrimination and bias hold a knee to the neck of justice and equality. But there is a reason to hope. Our city has never shrunk from challenges before, and we will not now. We must not take our foot off the pedal of progress. Let us now move forward together with purpose and resolve to tackle the great challenges of our time. Let us strengthen the city we are all proud to call home, and let us build a beloved community with dignity, opportunity, and a hope for all of our people. Mayor Bibb, I look forward to partnering with you to deliver such progress for the great people of Cleveland. Thank you for answering the call to serve. And again, congratulations, my friend, my brother, Mayor Justin Bibb.
Thank you, Congresswoman Brown. Today we have the honor to be in the presence of Cleveland resident and the first African-American woman to be elected to the Ohio Supreme Court, Justice Melody Stewart. I invite Justice Stewart, Ms. Charlene Nichols, and Mayor Bibb to the stand for the oath of office.
Good afternoon, everyone. Mayor, you've already done it. Put your left hand in the Bible. You've done this before, right?
Got a little practice.
And repeat after me. I, Justin Morris Bibb,
I, Justin Morris Bibb,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the ordinance and charter of the City of Cleveland.
and the ordinance and the charter of the City of Cleveland.
I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly, and impartially
and impartially
discharge and perform all of my duties
discharge and perform all of my duties
as mayor for the City of Cleveland, State of Ohio,
as mayor for the City of Cleveland, State of Ohio,
to the best of my ability and understanding.
to the best of my ability and understanding
During my continuance in said office.
during my continuance in said office.
Congratulations, Mayor.
Thank you, Justice. Appreciate it so much.
Good afternoon. It is my honor and privilege to introduce my son, the love of my life, the 58th Mayor of Cleveland, Ohio, Justin Morris Bibb.
That's the real candidate of the Bibb household, Mama Bibb right there. How's everybody doing today? Good, 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 good. To my family, friends, and staff, and community of volunteers and supporters, I'm just so humbled to be here before you today. While I know it was our intention to gather together for a big special occasion with thousands of people from across the city, due to the number of growing cases of COVID-19, we wanted to make sure everyone was safe and healthy during this critical time in our city, in our state, and our nation. I really appreciate all of you who quickly adopted all of your plans to maintain the program while protecting our residents. Special appreciation to Justice Stewart, my sister, Congresswoman Shontel Brown, and all the friends who have joined us on stage, submitted videos, and all of you who are watching live stream on Facebook, and also I think it's live on Channel 3. 66 days ago, I made a promise to Cleveland. At the end of a nearly year-long campaign, my family, friends, supporters, and inspirations gathered at my family place of worship, the Olivet Institutional Baptist Church, to celebrate our victory in the race for mayor of Cleveland. That night, I promised you that when I took the oath of office, that we would take that oath together. All of us, every one of us who knocked on doors, sent messages, made calls, shared posts on social media, or just prayed for us. Walking into City Hall on Monday, I walked into the footsteps of iconic leaders like Carl Stokes and Michael R. White. I followed the longest-serving mayor in Cleveland's history, Frank G. Jackson. And the magnitude of that moment, just 5 days ago, truly moved me. Now, every mayor before me made promises, made progress, made mistakes, made friends, and made some enemies. But the goal is clearly to make more progress than mistakes and more friends than enemies. But just like I did not win that campaign alone, I did not take the oath of office alone. And I did not walk into City Hall alone. We walked into the city's highest office together. And that means that we will work together. We have to work together to deliver the promise of the future of Cleveland. So, the question before us is, what does that promise look like? For me, it's the promise of raising a family in our city without the fear of violent crime. And I know from my own firsthand experience as a poor black kid from the Southeast Side what that fear feels and looks like. Because I too am sick and tired of bearing too many family friends to senseless acts of violence. And my heart goes out to the family of Officer Shane Bartek and the countless other Clevelanders who've lost their lives due to violence. Too many dreams have been deferred, and we must act now. That's why we must fight for safer streets by working to pay our officers more and give them the tools and technology to keep our neighborhoods secure. That's why the fight for accountable policing must go on, to ensure we bring more voices around the table to give our residents the confidence they need to call the police and make sure they show up on time. And in this post-George Floyd era of policing, we can and must do both. And I believe that Cleveland can show the nation and the world how to get it done. The promise is also rooted in creating more on-ramps of economic opportunity for our residents to achieve their God-given potential. And I believe it starts by having a more modern and responsive City Hall so our small businesses can thrive. We need more investments in our main streets from Lee Harvard to Cam's Corners to ensure that Cleveland's comeback can truly be rooted in putting people and neighborhoods first. But achieving this promise will require all of us to do the hard work of making our city that beacon of hope that we all aspire towards. And I know there is plenty work ahead. Now, I knocked on a lot of doors, wore out a couple of shoes, attended many small neighborhood events, and trust me, Cleveland, you were not shy. You told me like it was. I heard you, neighbors and friends, when you told me your stories, your struggles, and your aspirations. You asked for change, and you asked to be listened to, and you wanted to hear from us. I heard you, Leah Hutnell, when you were worried about making sure your son Dom had the education he needed to achieve his dreams one day. I heard you, Robert Brooks, on Way Avenue, when you told me about how frustrated you were by how long it took an ambulance to come arrive for your lost loved one. I heard you, Dolores Houston in Collinwood, as you worried about your neighborhood and the increase in crime. And I heard you, Melissa Corey, in Slavic Village, when you told me about the pain points you experienced during this pandemic to get the resources you needed to keep your business afloat. And as a young man, growing up in Grandma Sarah's house with my uncle, Tommy and Michael, on East 121st and Dove, this was not my first time hearing about or seeing the struggles we face every single day. My family experienced many of those same problems and frustrations. We felt that same fear, that same worry. Sometimes we got angry. During that time, I also heard stories that inspired me and reminded me so much of the people in my life who encouraged me to work hard, get a good education, respect my elders, and come back to Cleveland to one day make a difference. So thank you to Josh Rosen in Tremont for starting that business right here in Cleveland by employing our residents to help build a stronger economy in our city. Thank you to Paula Camp in Ohio City for leading your neighborhood voter turnout efforts and always causing good trouble. And thank you to Ted Ginn Sr. for organizing programs to help keep our young black men safe and in school every single day. And thank you to all of you who got vaccinated, helped your neighbors get vaccinated, and remember to wear your mask and do what you can to protect the most vulnerable among us. My dream of becoming mayor started when I was 17 years old, when I was a junior in high school. And my mom, Mama Bibb, was the first member of that coalition. And it only took another 24 years for that group to start expanding. In December of 2020, a small team of people put their faith and belief in me. And I'm forever humbled by that early support. That support grew little by little. At the height of the pandemic, we had one-on-one Zoom meetings, which became group Zoom meetings, which became backyard neighborhood meet and greets and barbershops and salons and even goat farms. Soon we grew to over 300 volunteers and had over 1,200 contributors. And together, we knocked on thousands of doors, sent tens of thousands of text messages, made thousands of phone calls. And it took us a year to build the beautifully diverse and dynamic coalition that propelled us to victory on November 2nd. Since that electric, memorable evening, surrounded by so many people, we built a second coalition. This transition committee, made up of 75 people, helped create a prioritized plan to guide our first 100 days of governance. And instead of locking themselves up in a fancy room to come up with a plan, they spread out all across this city, reaching over 500 people to get their ideas, hear their needs, and understand their lived experiences. Now, I purposely mentioned a lot of numbers, big numbers, to highlight the scale of what we've already accomplished together. But today I want us to focus on the number that made this possible. One. Each of you made a personal contribution of your time and influence to deliver the change Cleveland needs. Every one of you believed that the status quo was not good enough for Cleveland's future. Each one of you who believed that our moment was now and Cleveland simply couldn't wait. You and I are one of many, and we've already proven that we can achieve the unexpected when we collaborate and unite for a common cause. Now, I remember when they said I was too young, too naive, I was too black, or I wasn't black enough, didn't have enough experience. You name it, the list goes on. But look at what we did, neighbors. We instead said that Cleveland can't wait, and we organized toward a common goal. That was the first leg of the journey. And now we are in the midst of the real work of putting our ideas into action. Together, I know that we can achieve the bold vision of Cleveland that we've talked about over the past year. That dream that I've had since I was a boy. We can achieve a safer, more equitable, healthier Cleveland. We can be the Cleveland that young people move back to because there are good jobs, safe streets, good schools, quality grocery stores, good health care. We don't just have to dream about that Cleveland. We can and will work toward that goal every minute of every single day. And just like the leaders before me, I'm confident that there will be many accomplishments that we will be proud of, and that there will be mistakes that we will regret. But let me tell you this, I can assure you that in the Bibb administration, we will move with urgency, deliberate intention, and the knowledge that you've entrusted us with the important job of making your government work for you. And the only way that can happen is if you continue to be involved or get involved. Your voice matters, and your voice is critical to good government. But your actions are what make good government possible in Cleveland, because democracy is on the line. So in closing, I pray that when we look back at this moment, this was the moment that we the people, decided to take the future in our hands. That we the people decided to put the values of equity, justice, and transparency into action. This is our time. This is our moment. Let's keep fighting for the promise of what Cleveland can be together. God bless you all. God bless our beloved city. Thank you so much.
Cleveland Mayor Justin Bibb giving his inaugural address this afternoon at Public Hall on Lakeside Avenue. Wes Mitchell at the WKYC studios. You're watching our coverage of the inauguration of Mayor Bibb. Let's go back to the ceremony, and Victor Ruiz, the Master of Ceremonies today.
We are inspired by your words and are excited to work alongside you. And speaking of inspiration, please welcome Cuyahoga County Poet Laureate Honey Bell Bay for a poetic address inspired by the mayor's journey.
Gentlemen,
is that we are living in a city that can never go low. With Justin at the helm, we have no choice but to grow. These young men are watching you, and greatness is what you show. It's about who you are, but it's also about who you know. See, I heard a story that said he once forced his mother to watch Hoop Dreams. He was determined to be the next LeBron James. Destiny comes differently even when the polls don't know your name. See, change can't wait. When the coach says, Justin, it's time for you to go get in the game. Thank you, gentlemen. Reminds me of Carl Stokes. Reminds me of Carl Stokes and his very first run. He lost by only a few votes the first time he ran. But there was a Bibb in the pipeline, so he had to run again. To make room for this young, charismatic leader who would emerge when the time was right to mobilize, unify in the middle of pandemic's fight. This is a job for the inspired. I read the job notice, and it did say experience required. But when companies were pursuing him directly out of school, that tells me that he got that job done too. He took a different path and then returned to Cleveland with a set of new rules and custom design tools, knowing that there's a Justin and a Justin and a Justin in each one of our schools, and they're going to find destiny all while watching you. Martin wasn't just stating, I have a dream today. He was asking, Justin, will you carry the dream one day? I have a dream that one day my 4 little children will live in a nation where they're not judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. Young Justin was requested to do that speech as a young man at churches as he found his way, as he found his voice and he found his way. It was as if the words of Martin Luther knew that there would be this day. The dream to live in a nation where Cleveland streets are safe. The dream to live in a city where the leading pandemic is not hate. I have a dream to live in a nation where Cleveland has non-existing poverty rates. Having never held public office, your mother's prayers moved you to the head of the class. You know the last shall be first and the first shall be last. You are this city's M&Ms. You are. You are the Malcolm, the Medgar, the Martin. And with you, we win. No matter how you slice this pie, you fight for integrity with justice in your hand. No matter what you do, you put new light in this land. Thank you. We are all part of your team. You not only stated, but you are living Martin Luther's dream.
Poet Laureate Honeybell Bay and distinguished gentleman of spoken word. Thank you. That was wonderful. And as Mayor Bibb mentioned earlier, we had to make some adjustments to the program to accommodate a virtual ceremony. And initially, we were going to be treated to a live performance by the Tri-C Jazz Ensemble and by Opus 216, a classical quartet. But we had to pivot, and we've incorporated their performances into this video, which was created by Amanda King and Nick Pico. And it features the work of Cleveland artists and some images of special significance to Team Bibb. So please turn your attention to the video. was amazing. Isn't our city and our people beautiful? That was just absolutely amazing. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Nick, and all the contributors to this amazing video presentation. And I'd like to thank you for your time and attention today. Muchas gracias por su tiempo y atención. But more importantly, for your time and dedication for the next 4 years as we collaborate with Mayor Bibb's administration to bring your vision to reality. In conclusion, we will ask Dr. Reverend Larry Howard to give the benediction.
Let me thank Mayor Bibb for asking me to share in this swearing-in ceremony and to be a part of this historic moment. Almighty and everlasting God, great is your faithfulness, Lord, unto us. Even on this cold day in January, you show us new mercies. Your word says, every perfect gift comes from the Father. Our new mayor, Justin Bibb, has never claimed to be perfect, but he's good to those who know him and good for the community he now leads. So we begin this day with a prayer of thanksgiving for Mr. Bibb. Yet even as we thank you that he is with us today, we set him apart from us on this day for the task of leadership. Oh God, be with him. Establish the work of his hands. Allow him to keep his heart of service even when some don't want to be served. Empower him to keep his tongue of eloquence, even when the critics are harsh. Ensure his heart to be full of hope, even when the melees of apathy is around. Father, your word has shown us that good leadership demands good character. So we thank you for Justin's heart, his integrity, and his service to you. Father, even in this day that values pragmatism, keep this mayor principled. In this day that values shortcuts, give him a vision for the long haul. In this day of gotcha politics, keep his mind on true public service. And Father, we recognize that even though the waters appear calm, there are some rip currents in the community. There are some people and institutions who on the surface give the appearance of integrity, but underneath have a swift current of injustice guiding their actions. Father, give us this mayor. Give this mayor a soft hand, but a stiff backbone. Give him a determinism that marches toward justice no matter what he might face. Let him be as wise as a serpent and as innocent as a dove. But not just him, Father, be with us as well. Let us be quick to act when most are quick to talk. Let us love in a way that challenges the powerful and comforts the downtrodden. And finally, Father, let this be a day for the residents of Cleveland. Let Justin's life and position be one that encourages hope and possibility from within the inner city. Let all the young people of Cleveland look at Justin Bibb and know that leadership, influence, and service is just as likely to come from Dove in Mount Pleasant as it is from Van Aken in Shaker. Lord, all Justin will need, you will provide. So, Father, give Justin Bibb strength for the task and a bright hope for the future. Now unto him who's able to keep us from falling and to present us faultless before the only wise God, our Father, be power, glory, and dominion, now and forevermore. Let us all say amen. God bless you and have a blessed Saturday afternoon.
It is 3:01 on this Saturday afternoon, January the 8th, 2022. You've been watching Channel 3's coverage of the inauguration of Justin Bibb at Public Hall in downtown Cleveland. Our Mark Namick is at Public Hall. He's been covering Justin Bibb for a long time, ever since that day when the young man who was 33 years old said he wanted to run for mayor. I believe he said that was in December of 2020. Mark, let me ask you. The mayor came out swinging today. A couple of highlights from his speech to talk about. He mentioned a beacon of hope, how he wants to make Cleveland a beacon of hope. He talked about promises made to the city, and he threw some shade, as they say, at those who said he couldn't do it. What struck you the most about the mayor's speech today?
Well, that he really tried to talk and be inspirational, because that was the theme of the campaign. We've heard him push back on those criticisms during the campaign, but you heard several things, Russ. The word modern, working together, and dreaming. That's where he wants people to feel inspired around. He had a lot he could have talked about. He had a very busy first week, and eventful one, obviously overshadowed by the death of police officer Shane Bartek. There is a lot going on at City Hall right now, but in that speech today, it really was about trying to be inspirational and remind the voters why they elected him and what's ahead. Russ?
Mark, let me ask you about the room there. As we mentioned earlier, the original plan was to have some 1,500 people in attendance. Those plans had to be changed because of the pandemic. Those in attendance today included invited folks, family, and friends. What was the sense of the room this afternoon?
It is filled with the people that are behind that vision that he just talked about. City Hall commissioners, police chief, fire chief, the new people, the millennials. Remember, this is our first millennial mayor. They are among the 75 people that are here, not including the media. Obviously, some family members in that first front row. He alluded to, I believe, an uncle. Obviously, his mother was on stage. But this was filled with City Hall officials. He needs to win them over just as much as the public, because many of those are there, they're staying. This week, for example, he has confirmed the appointment, or that he's keeping, Carrie Howard, who is the safety director under Mayor Frank Jackson, who spoke out and advocated against issue 24, which was the big issue that Justin really pushed for. They've talked, they're going to work together, and Carrie Howard has earned a reputation of being very aggressive with discipline with police officers, and that was part of that discussion, but he's now on board. I didn't personally see him here. A lot of folks are wearing masks, so I can't tell you for sure, but everyone else is here, Russ.
As you're speaking, Mark, we're seeing the mayor on stage thanking folks who participated today. We should not ignore, and you talked about it, the human moment in all this. Justin Bibb, 34 years old, a native of Cleveland, Ohio. He said when he was 17 years old, he told himself he wanted to be mayor. He wanted to make a difference. He said his mom was his first supporter. His mom, who was there today, of course, who introduced him, Charlene Nichols, whose Bible his hand was held on today. Stick with me, Mark. I want to run a clip from something that the mayor said today along those lines.
My dream of becoming mayor started when I was 17 years old, when I was a junior in high school. And my mom, Mama Bibb, was the first member of that coalition. And it only took another 24 years for that group to start expanding. In December of 2020, a small team of people put their faith and belief in me. And I'm forever humbled by that early support. That support grew little by little. At the height of the pandemic, we had one-on-one Zoom meetings, which became group Zoom meetings. which became backyard neighborhood meet and greets and barbershops and salons and even goat farms. Soon we grew to over 300 volunteers and had over 1,200 contributors. And together, we knocked on thousands of doors, sent tens of thousands of text messages, made thousands of phone calls. And it took us a year to build the beautifully diverse and dynamic coalition that propelled us to victory on November 2nd.
And Mark, you gave us a history lesson throughout this campaign and throughout after Justin Bibb's victory on November 2nd. He becomes the second youngest mayor in Cleveland history. The first youngest, a guy named Dennis Kucinich, who he defeated in the primary.
Yes, and defeated everyone in the primary. He bested all 7 candidates. Justin is 34. He was running at age 33, as you heard. Dennis beat that by a couple of years. But that youth is a big part of this campaign, and family. Recently, Bibb's campaign manager talked about text messages, which was referred to tonight in this speech, or this afternoon, excuse me. Thousands of text messages were led by teenagers, 15, 16, 18-year-olds, trying to communicate, trying to tap into voters who in Cleveland traditionally don't come out and vote. And it made a difference. So on that point, besting everyone, beating Dennis Kucinich, beating Council President Kevin Kelly to get here. Obviously, Mayor Bibb is talking a lot about that. I think he's still celebrating that, but he is doing the work behind the scenes this past week shows.
Along those lines, as we mentioned, the new mayor came out swinging when it came to those who told him 13 months ago that he could not do this. Let's take a listen to what he had to say about that.
Today, I want us to focus on the number that made this possible. 1. Each of you made a personal contribution of your time and influence to deliver the change Cleveland needs. Every one of you believed that the status quo was not good enough for Cleveland's future.
Please stop.
Each one of you who believed that our moment was now and Cleveland simply couldn't wait. You and I are one of many, and we have already proven that we can achieve the unexpected when we collaborate and unite for a common cause. Now, I remember when they said I was too young, too naive, I was too black, or I wasn't black enough, didn't have enough experience. You name it, the list goes on. But look at what we did, neighbors. We instead said that Cleveland can't wait, and we organized toward a common goal. That was the first leg of the journey. And now we are in the midst of the real work of putting our ideas into action. Together, I know that we can achieve the bold vision of Cleveland that we've talked about over the past year, that dream that I've had since I was a boy. We can achieve a safer, more equitable, healthier Cleveland. We can be the Cleveland that young people move back to because there are good jobs, safe streets, good schools, quality grocery stores, good health care. We don't just have to dream about that Cleveland. We can and will work toward that goal every minute of every single day.
And Mark, as we wrap up our coverage this afternoon, let's talk about what's next. What is, you mentioned this, you touched on it. What is the first order of business for the new mayor as he gets to work?
Well, let me throw out a number. You just heard Mayor Bibb throw one out, $1.8 billion. That's the size of the city budget when you include the water department and the airport. He has a budget to put together. They've already started. But on that point, he also needs a budget director, which has not been appointed. Look to see some of those final cabinet positions filled, maybe this coming week and the week after. He has a big announcement on COVID issues we should hear about, and he's going to continue to work on youth violence. He met last week with County Prosecutor Mike O'Malley to discuss some of those issues. He's looking to do changes to the law that will allow the police some more room to chase this stuff. So those are the big issues: budget, violence and filling out that cabinet. It's probably going to be going on right now.
Okay, Mark Namick at Public Hall. As always, thank you for your invaluable insight. Appreciate it. And thank you very much for watching. You've been watching our special coverage of the inauguration of Mayor Justin Bibb. Complete reports tonight on Channel 3 News at 6 o'clock. What Matters Most with Lena Lai and Will Ewick. And of course, you can watch the entire ceremony again at WKYC.com. For Mark Namick and the Channel 3 News team, I'm Russ Mitchell. Have a great afternoon.